Test, test, test. Slovakia, y'all. Can y'all hear me now? Slovakia, can y'all hear me? Kagawa, text me back if you can hear me. All right. All right. Salakia for that, y'all. We gonna run it back. We're gonna run it back. I didn't go that far, but I was hidden. I was hidden. Let's see if we can't stay in the spirit. Lord be with me. Let's run this back. We're gonna start it back. All right. Salakia for that. I had no idea that the sound wasn't working. It looked like it was working on my end. So yeah, Salakia Israel. Let's go on and run that back. All right. Shalom Yashabakata Salakia. Shalom Shabakatum to the brothers. Shalom Shemai Lutaba Hashem Yahushua to the sisters. I'm priest and officer Lamawad of the I.S.U.P.K. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and we are all under commanding General Yohana. In the U.P.K, we bring the truth to our people, the truth of the Bible, and the truth of what the Lord requires from us, and what we have to do to gain the kingdom, to build this kingdom back up. All right. So tonight we're just going to touch on some things. It's about the law. It's always about the law. You cannot get around the law at all, right? No matter, like if you're an Israelite, it's no matter if you're male or female, child, old, young, doesn't matter. You cannot get around the law. The law stands, right, at all times. Slack it. Hold on 1 second. Try to get this. All right, that's much better. All right, so the law is something that the law is what converts your mind from all the wickedness that's in this place, right? Because when you're born, more than likely you're born not knowing the truth. You're born into a family that doesn't practice the righteous acts. They don't keep the law of God. So you are learning wickedness at the end of the day. You are learning another people's way and culture, right? You learn to do the customs of the oppressor who is in charge of the society. That's why you celebrate these holidays. That's why you celebrate Martin Luther King Day coming up. Valentine's Day finna come up, Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July. You come up as a child not knowing any better if you're not in a family that knows the truth, that knows to keep the laws of God and to keep his holy days sacred. You probably go to church on Sundays, the first day of the week. You don't know that you're breaking God's laws because you're ignorant of the laws. Scripture says it's better to be ignorant than to know and willfully break them, right? And I just paraphrase that. That is not verbatim. But let's start out in the book of Baruch, chapter 14. We'll start at verse 1. Oh, Salaki. Let me plug this laptop in real quick before I have some more problems. Lock it one more. All right. It's lucky for that. All right. So let's go to the book of Baruch, chapter 14, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that is forever. Right? Let me read that part one more time. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that is forever. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second, because there's a key word in there that we all should pay attention to, right? There's a key word in there that we all should be looking at, and it should set a bell off in your head. Can anybody tell me what that word is? I'm gonna read it one more time. Read this part one more time. I'm in the book of Baruch, that's in the Apocrypha. It says, book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that is forever. That word that we are that we should harp on is forever, right? Because in this place, we're taught that the law is done away with. You don't have to keep the law. Yeah, that God, the Most High God, the one that made the law, the one that gave the law. Well, he didn't realize, and I'm speaking from a Christian church perspective here. Most High God, he didn't realize that we couldn't keep the law. So what he did was he sent his son Christ to die on the cross and fulfill the law, so we don't have to keep it. That's what he did. At least that's what the Christian church or Christianity, says, right? But the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1, says, this is the book of the commandments of God and the law that is forever. Forever, meaning it don't end. And anyone that has a brain, how in one instance God says, this is what you do, and God also says, I change not, is going to send his son to say, well, he didn't really understand that y'all couldn't keep it. So I tell you what, I'm gonna keep it, and then I'm gonna have them nail it to the cross with me, and then you don't have to keep it no more. You don't have to do anything at all, but just be here and do whatever you want to do, and you still gonna get into heaven. Now, how crazy is that? How crazy does that sound to a person that has common sense? Because a person that has common sense would have to look at that and say, well, if he said over here he don't change, he changes not. Like, he don't never change, and he gave us this, why would he then send his son to change it? It don't add up. 1 + 1, it ain't equal in 3. It's got to equal 2. So anyway, let me read on. All they, talking about Israel, that keeping the law, shall come to life. Let that sink in for a minute. So you telling me if we keep the law, we come to life. But I thought I was already living. I'm breathing, right? I'm breathing. I'm moving. I thought I'm living. What you mean? If I keep the law, I come to life. I'm already alive. But you're not alive. Not according to God, you not, right? Because when we talk about, come to life. Now, this is saying that you have to keep the law to come to life, right? So when Adam was given the breath of life, was that Adam coming to life for the first time? Adam was already here, along with all the other people in the garden, right? But now that you understand that to keep the law is to come to life, you know what Adam was given. Adam was given the law. He was given a way to live according to God that would give him life, because everybody else is walking in death. Right? Let me read on here. But they that have forsaken it, meaning forsaken the law, to death. So for you so-called Christians that's in Christianity, right? You have forsaken the law, meaning you saying I don't have to do that. I don't have to watch what I'm eating. I don't have to, respect my husband. I don't have to I don't have to stand down and trying to teach men as a woman. Men, I don't have to be a man. I can be a woman. You have forsaken the law, and it's to death. Why is it to death? Because all roads lead to death. All roads lead to destruction, right? Because you have no compass, no moral compass, according to the Most High God, right? Let's read on. Verse 2. Return, O Jacob. Jacob is Israel's name before he was named Israel, right? So here is talking to the children of Israel, right? Return, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Take hold of the law, right? Telling you come back and take hold of the law. You know what I mean? Embrace it. It's like it's like you lived in the house with your pops, right? And you just wouldn't do right by your pops, right? You wouldn't obey his rules of his household. So he kicked you out. And you sitting up throwing a fit because you like, where I'm supposed to go, man. What I'm supposed to do. He's like, I don't care. You ain't gonna do right by me. You're not gonna do what I ask you to do. You got to roll. You got to go, right? So now you've been out in the world for a little while and you find out that the world ain't a kind place. You find out that, it's tough out here. You know what I'm saying? You on the bricks now. You know what I mean? And you not faring so well. You just you're not cut out for that. So now you run back, right? Return, oh Jacob. You go back, right? And your father's still there. And he embraces you with open arms. You know what I mean? Because he just needed you to realize what you had versus what you wasn't having to deal with, right? And so now, take hold. You listen to your pops. You listen. Every rule he got, you listening now. You opened your heart up, right? You opened your heart up, and now you being renewed, right? You being reborn. Because you now like, okay, I see now. I see why. I see why you don't do this. I see why you don't do that. I see why my pops want me to do this, man. And now you start to gain traction. Now you starting to succeed in the way you're supposed to. It don't come as fast as you want it to, right? It ain't moving as fast as you would like because you want instant gratification. You want instant wealth. You want instant everything, right? But that's not the way the Most High works. The Most High works how He works, not how you work. Can the clay tell the potter what to do? Right? You can't. All right. Let me keep going. I'm in verse 2 of Baruch, chapter 4. Walk in the way by its brightness. Why? The law is like a spotlight, right? And it points out all wickedness. It's shining a light on. It's like the cops coming down your street. And they got that spotlight, that big bright light. You know what I'm talking about? The one that points you out. The helicopter got the big beam coming down, right? And it's shining a light on everything that's going on. Who they looking for? You know what's happening, right? That's the law, right? Shining everything, showing everything. What should be, what shouldn't be. What you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. When you overheard you overheard you eating you had a what's that called, a crab boil, you snapping the legs and stuff. Bow, light is on you. Because what you got to understand is, you know what I mean, you think you're getting away with something. Our people always like to talk about, judgment. You can't judge me. You can't judge me. Do you know you being judged from the moment you open your eyes in the morning till you go back to sleep? You wake up in the morning, you pop that, sausage, egg, and biscuit up in the microwave, and you start smacking on it after it cooked. Judged. Lunchtime, you done packed you a ham sandwich. Judged. You call up your friends, say, hey man, let's meet up at Papa Do's, man. You know what I'm saying? You order calamari and you got some shrimp. Judged. You go to the barber shop, hey man, go on, give me that ball fade, line me up. Judged. From the time you wake up till you go to bed. Yeah. All right. And that's the brightness of the law. It shines on everything. Can't get away from it. You can't. No matter how hard you try. No matter how crafty you think you are. How slick. You can't hide from the law. You can't. Anyway, let's move on. So let me finish that verse out. And I'm in verse 2 of Baruch, chapter 4. In the presence of the light thereof. So verse 3, give not thy honor to another, nor thy dignity to a strange nation. Like, we got to stop giving everything we have away. You know what I mean? Like, we have the law, supposed to follow the law. We don't want to do it, right? But then we want to include everybody else. we wanna give away every good thing that we have amongst ourselves instead of dealing with ourselves. It's real like it's harder for us to love one another than it is to love a heathen. Like, let that sink in, man. Let that really sink in. We would rather love someone else than to love our own people. I've seen families that would love their friends more than they would their own family. I can't stand my brother. I can't stand my sister. My mama get on my nerves. But my homeboy, man, my homeboy Billy, man, me and my homeboy Billy like this. I mean, that's pretty much almost like how Israel is, man. We love to share all our stuff, man. We compromise ourselves all the time. I mean, it's sad because when you love your people and you love yourself, so you love your brother as yourself, and you understand God and how God thinks in regards to the law and to brotherhood, you start to become disgusted with all these things, and you should become disgusted with all of these things. It should make you say to yourself, when you see two brothers, almost about to kill each other, that should disgust you. When you see a brother about to go sleep with another man's wife or another brother's wife, that should disgust you, man. When you see somebody of your people eating an abominable food, that should disgust you. It should make you turn your nose up, like, what's wrong with you? Like, the scriptures say, surely oppression should make a wise man mad. It's a wise thing to be mad about all of these things, right? Let's uh let's move to verse 4. This is the book of Baruch in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 4. Now, before I read this, one of the things our women in Israel like to say is, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. It's my happiness. That girl Tia Mowry or Tamara, whichever one it was that divorced their brother, and those two are not our people. But what I'm saying is, why she divorced him was because she said she wasn't happy. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't cheat on her, as they say, cheating. He didn't beat on her. None of that. She just wasn't happy, right? Which I did hear that I think they trying to work it out now. If I was him, I wouldn't take her back. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she done slept with another man. She not yours no more. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Um, the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 4. We are happy, O Israel. So Israel is happy. Why is Israel happy? What makes you happy, Israel? Right? Because the things that are pleasing to God are made known to us. That's why you should be happy, Israel. That's why you should be happy, because the things that are pleasing to God are made known to us. And what's pleasing to God is that you keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what's pleasing to God. That's what makes Israel happy, because we were chosen out of all the nations that are on the earth. We were chosen to be God's children, right? Nobody else. We were adopted, right? We were given the promises, right? We were given the covenant or covenants, right? That's why we should be happy. But no, we don't want to be happy with that. We don't want to be happy because we need something that feels good. We need instant gratification. We need to be out here and have everything, right? Not knowing that everything was made for us. But that's why we on the bottom of every society on this earth when we should be on the top of every society on the earth because we should be ruling the earth. But it was because of our own disobedience that we on the bottom, dealing with every wickedness under the sun, dealing with it all. Why? Simply because we don't want to obey, right? Let's go to verse 6. Book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 6. You have been sold to the Gentiles, not for destruction, right? Not to destroy us, but because you provoked God to wrath. You are delivered to your adversaries. I hadn't, I mean, look at the Lord. Lord ain't playing. The Lord ain't playing. We the ones be playing. Lord, like anybody that's got parents that stands on business knows what I'm talking about. We be playing. They ain't playing. When they say, hey, man, don't play with me, they mean that. Anybody that's got some parents that stand on business and they give you that look and they be like, stop playing with me. You know, they not playing. You the one sitting up playing. So you keep on playing and you gonna find out. Yeah, you gonna find out. So Lord, you provoked them to wrath. Now we on the bottom in every society, every country, every city. We on the bottom. You want to find your people? You want to know who your people are? Every go to every city and find the people that's on the bottom. There they are. You ain't gotta look for. Look for Martin Luther King Street, Malcolm X Street. No. You gonna find them anywhere you go. Small town, big city, doesn't matter. Cursed are you in the city and cursed are you in the field. It don't matter where you at. Why? Because of disobedience. Were there some obeying? Yeah, there was some obeying, but we get judged as a nation. We get judged as a nation of people. You understand? That's why we got to build this nation. That's why we got to build it back up because we don't get we have our individual judgments, but yeah, not everybody in Israel was sinning, but you got the punishments just the same, right? All right, let's see. I'm just gonna keep reading on because it just gets better. Verse 7. For you have provoked him who made you. I mean, it's crazy how plain it just makes it. You provoked him who made you. Like you trying to come up against your maker. How crazy is that? You trying to tell your maker, I don't want to do that. He looking at you like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? That's how your parents look at you. Like, man, I feed you, I clothe you. You know what I'm saying? I house you. You don't hardly want for anything. And I ask you to do something and this how you come at me? This how you doing? Right? That's how the Lord looking like, man. This how you acting? I'm asking you to do this, and this how you acting? Starting over, verse 7. For you have provoked him who made you the God, or Salakia, the eternal God, offering sacrifice to devils and not to God. Like, think about that for a second. Offering sacrifices to devils, deceivers. Where we at in America? Amongst devils, right? Man, amongst devils. And you have to go to these devils in the want of all things, right? Right? And these devils did what they did to our people, right? But yet and still, somehow we here in 2025, and our people still want to celebrate them. Because what you doing when you sacrifice to devils, Martin Luther King Day, Valentine's Day, 4th of July, Easter, um, Juneteenth, um, Thanksgiving, Christmas, any other holiday you can think of, you sacrificing to devils and not to God. Verse 8. I'll tell you, this just gets better. And I'm in the book of Baruch, which is in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 8. For you have forgotten God. That's what it means when you don't obey the law. Forgotten God. Because Christians love to say all that. I love the Lord. Nah, but like say, what's the scripture? And I'm paraphrasing, they lips do honor me, but their hearts are far from me. Meaning your mind is far from the Lord. Out your mouth comes all these praises, but your mind it ain't on the Lord. If it was on the Lord, you wouldn't celebrate Christmas. If it was on the Lord, you wouldn't celebrate Martin Luther King Day. If it was on the Lord, you wouldn't go into that church on Easter Sunday. If it was on the if your mind was on the Lord, you wouldn't eat the things that you eat, say the things you say. You know what I'm saying? Have the brotherhood that you have. If it was on the Lord, if your mind was on the Lord, we would be a nation. Let me say that one more time. If your mind was on the Lord, we would be a nation. We would be in rulership. But because you have forgotten God, we court jesters in this place. We less than the court jester. We slaves in this place, right? Servants to devils, right? When the devil should be servants to us. Reading on, verse 8. Who brought you up? Let me start this over. Book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 8. For you have forgotten God who brought you up. It's God that lifted us up, right? It's God that said, this is a peculiar people. And I'm going to make them my children. It's like that I'm gonna make promises to them, right? I'm gonna make a covenant with them, right? And even when they still do wrong by me, I'm gonna make a new covenant with them. Even so that I'm gonna send my son, right? God has love for us. but we seem to waver on our love for God, right? All right, let me read on. Let me see. Who brought you up, and you have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. You grieved because you wouldn't obey. With disobedient children. You know, we had the land, it was promised to us. And what we do, as they say now, we fumbled the bag. Had it, had everything. You know what I'm saying? You was looking like a billionaire. Got the big house, 15, 16 cars outside, all 100,000 plus. You know what I'm saying? You got racehorses, stables, all kinds of stuff. Man, you got everything. And you fumbled it. Salaki, we fumbled it. I'm not discluding myself. We all Israel. We fumbled it. We straight up fumbled the bag, man. And now we come back to the knowledge of the Most High, and now we realize fumbled the bag, man. But it's all right because we gonna redeem ourselves. All right, let's move on. Where we want to go next? Where we want to go next? I had a couple of other ones. Let's go. So let's start proving. Let's start proving Christians wrong. And some of you that's been in this Christianity, let's go on and shake the dust off of your mind. Some of those things you learn because we want you to have the truth here in the I.S.U.P.K. We don't want you to believe in a lie because that's not going to benefit you. It's going to lead you to destruction. And we don't want our people in destruction. We want our people in rulership, right? All right. So let's go to book of Romans chapter 1, verse 5. That's the book of Romans chapter 1, verse 5. So if anybody has the sword out, go ahead and go to the book of Romans chapter 1, verse 5. I will get there with you in just a second. All right. All right. So it's the book of Romans chapter 1, verse 5. Or do I want to, let me see. Let me go to 1 and 4. And declared to be the Son of God with power according to the Spirit of holiness by the resurrection from the dead. Right? Verse 5, by whom we have received grace and apostleship for obedience to the faith among all nations for his name. Right? Again, it's about obedience. That's all it's about. Romans, let's go to Romans 5 and 19. Book of Romans chapter 5, verse 19. For as by one man's disobedience, many were made sinners. Now, this man that they're talking about is Adam. Through his disobedience, we were all made sinners. You see what I'm saying? Because he understood, like I said earlier, he was given the breath of life. He was given the law. And we understand that transgression of the law is sin, right? That, We understand. So we got to define it, right? Let's go to First John 3 and 4 so we can define it. But let me finish this out. So by one man's disobedience, many were made sinners. So Adam ate of the fruit of the forbidden tree. Why? Because he was talked into it by Eve, who was really in the transgression. Reason Adam was in the transgression because he was told not to do it, and he did it anyway. He was supposed to show obedience to the Most High, and he didn't do it. So we were all made sinners through Adam, right? So by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous. Now, I want to point something out right here in this part. So by obedience of one shall many be made righteous. Now, Christianity tells you Bible's for everybody. We don't got to keep the law. We don't get in the kingdom, right? Like you don't even have to do nothing to get in the kingdom. That like even just that right there, I don't have to be in the truth to know that that's off. Everybody gonna get in, no matter what you do. But I mean, when you start asking questions like that, of course they start talking about, well, yeah, I mean, you can't kill, you can't do this, you can't do like, nah, man. You say it's for everybody, and everybody can, you can do whatever you want to. Now you want to pick and choose what laws are this and what laws are that. No, no, you got to stick to your guns, man. You got to stick to it. But what I want to point out in here, and it's talking about Christ through Christ's obedience to his Father, to the Most High God, to all our fathers. You know what I mean? That many shall be made righteous. And what I'm pointing out is it says many shall many be made righteous. Not all made righteous, many made righteous, right? So right there, you can see if you have eyes and you have ears, right? That there's no way that the law was nailed to the cross, so now we don't have to keep it. Because if that was the case, all would be made righteous, right? It says by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous. So that's not all. And why is many? Is because those, like the men and women of the I.S.U.P.K, will hear the Lord's voice and will begin to obey it. You understand? It's that simple. It's not hard to understand, right? It is not hard to understand, but when you have a spirit of wickedness on you, you will never understand. Straight up like that. You will never understand when you got a spirit of wickedness. When you are too wrapped up in this world that you will fight tooth and nail to not leave it. You know that movie, The Matrix, when they was offering, well, you can go back into the Matrix or you can stay out here. Well, out here, you know what I'm saying? You eating some stuff look like some nasty oatmeal, but you can go back into the Matrix, even though it's not real. You can have steak and all this good food and stuff like that. Even though it's not real, it tastes real. You feel full and all of that, right? That's how the world. That's how being in the world is. You living good and you feeling good, not even knowing you the crash dummy that's in the car finna be tested, that's going 100 miles an hour, going nowhere but to a brick wall, and you gonna smash into it. Crash dummy. Mm-hmm. The vehicle is the world. You are the disobedient child sitting in the driver's seat with no steering wheel. That's what having the law is. Well, that's what not having the law is. You ain't got no steering wheel, no direction, no GPS, no nothing. You a crash dummy in a car, headed for death. Right? So yeah, I wanted to point out there in that verse that many shall be made righteous. Mm, Salaki, I just wanted to check something real quick. I guess we'll move on. Let me define sin for you. So 1 John 3 and 4. 1 John 3 and 4. And that will read, and every man that, let me see, Salakia. That was 3 and 3. Salakia. This is chapter 3, verse 4, 1 John. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. Now, this is 1 John. Like, this is over in the New Testament. This ain't the beginning of the New Testament. This is towards the end of the New Testament, right? It's only a few more, it's only like 2 more books before you get to Revelation. So any Christian that tries to tell me about, and first of all, I challenge any of you to ask a Christian what sin is and for them to give you a straight answer. I don't think they can do it. I haven't run into a Christian yet that can give me a straight answer when I say, well, do you know what sin is? Yeah, I mean, it's doing right. Well, what's right? Can you define right according to God? Well, brother, I mean, you just know, right? No, no, I don't just know. No, I don't just know. That in itself is wild to even say, brother. You just know. I mean, is that what you say to somebody that didn't have anybody to guide them coming up? That didn't have a head to be able to guide them the right way. Is that what you say to a young kid to raise them up? Well, you just know. Nah, I want to know the right way. I want to know the creative way, the Father's way. I want to know, right? That's why the Most High called me, and I'm here, just like every other man and woman in the I.S.U.P.K. Right? Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah. Because his children will hear his call and will heed his call and will come without haste. You gotta move forward, man. You can't move backwards. Can't move sideways in every which way. You gotta go straight. All right. Let's go. Let's go to Isaiah 1 and 19. Book of Isaiah chapter 1 verse 19 is where I believe I want to go. So book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 19. If ye be willing and obedient, Ye shall eat the good of the land. Right? If we are obedient children, we'll get the reward. We'll get the reward that we deserve. Right? Even if you do the bare minimum for the Lord, which is just to keep the law. Right? Just keep the law. Let's say you keep the law and you don't teach anybody the law, but you kept the law. I mean, at least you could do the bare minimum. Right down. It doesn't have to be hard, right? But if you be willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. The Lord gonna take care of you. You will live deliciously, right? We can't do that unless we together. You know what I mean? Like we gotta be a nation, man. All right. Verse 20. But if ye refuse and rebel, which is what we do, because we have this bleeding heart for everybody else that's not our people, because we want them included so bad, because we want to use our feelings rather than logic. When logic says, God said, do this, so you do this. God said, don't worry about them, so you don't worry about them. Your parents say, don't worry about the kids next door. Worry about what's going on right here. What you should do, you should worry about what's going on right here. You shouldn't worry about the kids next door. But now you want to worry about the kids next door, which is why if ye refuse and rebel, because you want to talk crazy to your parents, right? Now you want to talk crazy to the Lord. Well, they should be included too. They should be this. They should be that. Lord ain't hearing it. Ye shall be devoured. Devoured, right? With the sword. How you think we got over it? Don't we get killed all the time in these streets? Not just by us, but by these devils as well. You will be devoured. You can be devoured many ways, right? Economically, we're devoured, right? Because you got the East Indian and the Arab and the Asian all up in your neighborhoods, not because they live there. Nah, they businesses there. You come up in the in the convenience store, or East Coast, they the bodega or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Habibi want to say, "Oh, my brother, man," and forgive the accent because my Arab is bad, but you know what I'm saying? He want my friend, man. Man, like it, because I get a little mad about this type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, man, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend, man. When you lock this shop up other night, you go way across town. You ain't around here, right? How I'm your friend? What have you put back into this neighborhood? You walk out the store, man. You think you living in a third world country in some cities. But you my friend, right? All the money you making off of us, you drive up out of here in a BMW. Go to the nail salon, right? Asians. Yeah. Go to the back. Yeah, they got the Mercedes, the Benz in the back. Guess who paid for that? Israel. Yeah. Hair store. Don't even get me started with the hair store, man. Them wigs cost so much. That hair costs so much. Like, I just don't even understand it, man. I don't even understand it. And they all come from the heathen. You ain't selling your hair. Don't nobody want to buy your hair. Israel. Anyway, let me move on because this gives me riled up, and I start digressing. Salaki. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. So let me start that over. Verse 20. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. So, hey, man, you ain't got to listen. Just understand that you will be devoured by the sword. So you ain't got to listen. Just like your parents tell you, hey, man, you listen to us, everything will be cool, copacetic, right? But you don't listen to us, man, you're going to be punished. You're going to get it, whether it be the belt, whether you be grounded or whatever the case may be. Whether you can't do something that you want to do. Like we letting you know up front, man. Letting you know up front. And the Lord is letting you know, man, you're going to be devoured with the sword. But in the verse before, he said, if ye be willing and obedient, you got to be willing to keep the law. And once you be willing to keep it, keep it. Be obedient and keep it. All right. Verse 21. How is the faithful city become a harlot? They're saying, how did this happen, man? It was full of judgment. Righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers. Because at 1 minute, you wanted to be obedient, but you just couldn't be consistent. You couldn't keep it up. Because you seeing all these other nations around you doing all these things that look fun and they look exciting and look how they doing and all this stuff, and you just want to be included. You want your gratification now. Not when the Lord say, not when the Lord say, right? And because of it, now murderers. All right, let's move on. First Peter 1:14. First Peter 1:14. First Peter 1:14. Again, like I say, it's all about obedience. And when you don't obey, it's a consequence. For every, as they say, is it Newton's law? I believe it's Newton's law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, right? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, right? Now, that's a scientific term for it. Lord says simply, you can choose to obey or you can choose to disobey. But if you choose to disobey, there is a consequence that comes along with it. So just as long as you understand that, it's just like with the covenant. If you choose to do everything that comes with that covenant, this is what I'll do for you. But if you choose to break the covenant, this is what's going to happen to you, right? Which is what happened to us. We chose to break it. And now we're here where we are. All right. So First Peter chapter 1, verse 14. As obedient children, not fashioning ourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance. So when you didn't know about this truth, you were lusting in ignorance. You were sleeping with your brother's wife in ignorance. She sold you that story, about, well, me and him, we're basically done. We just got to wait for the marriage to, we waiting on the paperwork for the divorce. and stuff like that. And you like, oh, for real? Oh, so nah, you ain't really with him then. Yeah, so yeah, we can do, brother, in the eyes of God, that is his wife until she messes that up. But what she's doing is she's leading you into adultery. Not only herself, but you as well, because she sold you that line of BS and you went for it, right? But not just that type of lust, but any kind of lust, right? You like to eat, you want to eat everything, even the abomination, catfish, right? Everything against God, you did it, right? Or we did it. It's like I got to work on that. We did it. I'm not discluded. There's things I did in my ignorance, right? So it says, to the former lust in your ignorance. Verse 15, but as he which hath called you is holy. So he that has called you is holy. He's separate. He's separate from all of this, right? So be ye, meaning us, holy in all manner of conversation, right? Verse 16, because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. So we have to be separate like the Lord is separate. All right. Verse 17, and if ye call on the Father, who without respect of persons judgeth according to every man's work, that work is you doing the law, right? That work is doing everything the Lord commanded you to do, right? He's judging you on that. And he ain't got no respect of person. He don't care what your status is. He don't care who you know. He don't care about none of that. He's going to give you that work, right? He's going to give you that judgment according to every man's work past the time of your sojourning here in fear. Yeah, past your time in fear, man. Why? Does it mean to be all scared like some little punk? No. It means be afraid of the judgment that's going to come upon you by your inaction, by your disobedience. And that's not to be harsh, but we have to fear that, man. Like we have to fear that. Like I say, if you got parents that's laying down some rules on you, and they done shown you what they will do to you, your every step should be, your thoughts should be on that. If you a high schooler and you in school and your homeboys, they about to do some wild stuff that you may get caught, you may not get caught. But your mind should be on, man, if I get caught, bruh, nah, fam. Nah, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. That's fear. That's the fear, because you already know what's gonna happen. And with the Most High, ain't it? There's not a if you get caught, right? There's not a 50-50. Maybe we get caught, maybe we don't get caught. Now, like I said earlier in the class, you are being judged from the moment you open your eyes in the morning till you close them at night. And you better watch your dreams too. You know what I'm saying? like, man, it's like I said, it's not a fear. It's not a fear like you afraid. I mean, you are, but not that type of fear. You ain't in some corner shivering like the Lord gonna get me. No, it's fresh on your mind. What the heck is gonna happen? Fresh on your mind. Like, oh, wait a minute. Before I eat this, prime example, you go to Popeye's chicken, right? You like the red beans and rice. It's red beans and rice, right? What is it though? Cooked in pig lard or whatever the case. It's got some kind of pork in it. See, that's why your mind, if you're fearful of the Lord, you like, wait a minute, what's in this? You start asking questions. What's in this? Hey man, what y'all cook this with? You get a pot of greens, you just got greens on your plate, right? You like, oh, these just greens. Wait a minute. What you cook that with? Of course, they're gonna look at you. What you mean? What you mean what I cook it with? What I mean, yeah, I mean, the way you cook it. Nah, man, like, did you put like a ham hock in there? Well, yeah, that's how nah, fam. Nah, bruh. Let me get that back. That's fearing the Lord, right? Understanding that I gotta be on my P's and Q's at all times, right? I gotta cross my T's and dot my I's because in this place, these devils, these deceivers do anything, bro. I mean, anything. You talk about gummies, got pig cartilage in it. You think it's just some sweet snack. Used to eat them, used to pop them. You know what I'm saying? Gummy, yeah. Not, not knowing it's keeping me from the Most High. Something so small, something so small, so itty bitty is keeping me from the Most High. Why? Because I don't fear. My mind is not continually on. Hey man, there's a judgment. I gotta be right. Like a college student getting ready for a test, for a midterm or a final. Like, man, I gotta be ready. Trying to score 100 on that thing. You understand? All right. I think I've beat that to death. Let's go to Job 31 and 3. Book of Job 31 and 3. Sounds like I gotta look around for Job. I don't know why. All right. Book of Job, chapter 31 and verse 3. Let me see if that's what I want. Oh, I'm in, okay, 31 and 3. All right. This is the book of Job, chapter 31, verse 3. Is not destruction for the wicked and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? So the question is being asked, is not destruction for the wicked? You know what I'm saying? It isn't strange punishment to the workers of iniquity, right? Verse 4, doth not he see my ways and count all my steps? Now I just get through saying, the Lord, man, you're not doing anything in the dark. We talked about that light earlier, where it shines on everything. It's bringing forth everything that's going on. You're not doing nothing. You're not getting away with nothing. It seems like you're getting away with it, but just like we was talking about the Matrix, right? It seems like you eating steak, but we know it's not steak, right? You in the Matrix. So when it comes to doing wickedness against the Lord, you're not getting away with it. It seems like you are, because ain't nobody there to, jump on you and get you, but you ain't got away with nothing. All right. So it's verse 4, doth not he see my ways and count all my steps? Verse 5, if I have walked with vanity, or if my foot hath hastened to deceit, meaning if he's walked in just things that don't mean nothing, like I said, you out there doing things that don't mean nothing. It ain't counting towards nothing, because you ain't doing it towards the Lord. It ain't got nothing to do with the law. It's got everything to do against the law. It's vanity. It's not producing anything for you, right? So he's asking, have I walked in vanity, or my foot has haste to deceit? So he running to lie and everything else. No, he ain't doing that. Verse 6, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity. Job was so cold, man. Job was so cold with this, man. Look, verse 6, let me be weighed in an even balance, right? Man, he want the scale balance, man. Don't say he did nothing, right? So he said, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity. He want God to know, man, I'm not on the BS. What he told me to do, I'm doing it. Job, for what y'all don't understand is Job didn't do nothing. Job was being tested harshly. Most High told Satan, hey man, do anything to him but kill him. Job lost everything, man. He watched his world burn down around him. Wife killed, kids killed, everybody killed, animals killed, man. The animals like, man, why would I do? Right? Job was so cold with it, man. Job sitting here like, man, look, that God may know mine integrity. I got integrity. I ain't cursing the Lord. Not gonna do it. Like, that's some strength you should ask for, Israel. That's some strength you should ask for. That's some strength you should have, right? To be able to endure to the end. Verse 7, if my step had turned out of the way, and mine heart walked after mine eyes, meaning he he's seeing shiny things, he want the gold grill, he want the chains, he want the, what I'm saying, he want everything to go with it too. Meaning, he want to do all the wickedness that go with it. You know what I mean? Not saying everybody that gold grills and chains is in wickedness. Those of us that know how to do the right thing. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that he's questioning. He's like, have I gone after these things? No, I haven't. And if any blot hath cleaved to mine hands, verse 8, then let me sow and let another eat. Yea, let my offspring be rooted out. Because he's saying, man, I got integrity. You man, if it ain't, you take my kids. Because I know I'm right. Verse 9, if mine heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door. Verse 10, then let my wife grind unto another, and let others bow down upon her. Amen. Job is sitting here trying to go over like what's going on, man. Like, what's going on? What did I do? Because he know in his heart, in his mind, he like, nah, I know but what is it? Where did I go wrong? That's how righteous Job was. That's how much of obedience Job had, that like he is confused. When one of us do wrong, we ain't confused when we going through some things. We know why we going through it. We know why, right? You know what you did. You caught it up. You caught up in your mind as soon as something happened to you. Hey man, I shouldn't have did that, man. Hey, because you know what it is. Job sitting there, he's like, man, I know I'm, man, what did I do? What did I do? Right? Anyway, let's go to Ezekiel 14:6. We're gonna wrap this thing up, man. Ezekiel 14:6. Ezekiel 14:6. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, repent and turn yourselves from your idols, and turn away your faces from all your abominations. Turn away from that Christmas. Turn away from that white Jesus. Turn away from that Christianity. Get out of them Muslim mosques. Stop turning towards Mecca. You know what I'm saying? Stop eating all the abominable foods. Stop it. Any addiction that you have is only an addiction because you want to do it. At the end of the day, if you want to stop, stop. It's just that simple. Stop, right? Love the Lord more than you love it. All right. Verse 7, for everyone of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourneth in Israel, which separateth himself from me, and setteth up his idols in his heart. Meaning you done turned to something else. You done turned to something else, and now that's what you thinking about. That's what's on your mind, right? And putteth the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face. Because that's all you looking at. And you sitting up here telling everybody else, right? And coming to a prophet to inquire of him concerning me. I, the Lord, will answer him by myself. Verse 8, and I will set my face against that man, and will make him a sign and a proverb, and I will cut him off from the midst of my people, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Listen, don't play with the Lord. Straight up and down. Don't play with the Lord, man. That's the only way we gonna get back the kingdom. Stop playing with the Lord. Stop playing with his law, statutes, and commandments, saying they done away with and we ain't gotta keep them. Stop halfway doing the law, statute, commandment. 1 minute you in, 1 minute you out. Have some brotherhood, man. Straighten things out if you got an out with a brother or something like that. Stop sowing seeds of discord amongst brethren. You either gonna get down or you gonna lay down. It's that simple, man. Either you gonna get down or you gonna lay down, and that's all it's gonna be to it, right? But anyway, I'm gonna end this class with that. I'm Priest and Officer Lamawad of the I.S.U.P.K. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, back in 1969. And we are all under Commanding General Yohana. And gather yourselves together, Israel. Let's take back this kingdom. Shalom Shabbat to the brothers. Shalom Shemai Lathah by Shem Yahweh to the sisters. Night, Israel.